cool, isn't it?
This whole thing, for those who don't know, began as a short story, which I'm going to say for the benefit of the younger people here, has, I think, one really naughty word in it, and some adult themes, but it's generally, otherwise, I think, okay. Every hour or so, we're going to get different people to come in and read this story, so if you like it, tell people to come back, and also add to the list.
You've got your laptop.
For the record, my brilliant thing would be the first 10 minutes of the film Raging Arizona. So we could write that down.
It's also reading. It's called Sleeve Notes.
This is called Sleeve Notes.
Sleep Notes by Duncan Macmillan.
The list began after her first attempt. Me and Dad were in the car, and he was trying to explain why my mother didn't want to live anymore.
But I started the list. I believed that my mum was surrounded by things that would make her really happy, but that she'd stopped noticing them. I began to write down everything that was wonderful about the world.
Number 1, ice cream. Number 2, staying up past your bedtime and being allowed to watch TV. Number 3, Christmas. Number 4, people falling over. Number 5, banana slides. Number 6, water fights. Number 7, things with stripes. Number 8, ladybirds.
I kept the list in my pocket and added things as they occurred to me. Eventually, when the list was 8 pages long and had 315 things on it, I left it on my mum's pillow with the title, Every Brilliant Thing.
316 Kung Fu movies. 317 Weetabix. 318 old bicycles. 319 old people holding hands. 320 burning things. 321 laughing so hard you shoot milk out your nose. 322 making up after an argument. 323 telescopes. 324 roller coasters.
I posted the list anonymously to my mother. A week later I found it on my desk, neatly folded back in its envelope. I still don't know whether or not she'd read it, as it certainly hadn't seemed to change her outlook. I began leaving notes around the house, stuck to various things. On her mirror was 1,760 kittens. On the kettle, 3,675 Marlon Brando. And on her bed, 11 beds.
At university, the list took on a life of its own. People were constantly asking if they could read it, add to it, photocopy it. Over the years, the list grew to several thousand entries, then to several thousand pages. The document was scrawled all over with different handwriting and in different colours, with exclamation marks, underlining, asterisks, footnotes, amendments, drawings, and even the odd diagram. People would read through it, sometimes in groups, and their faces would light up. They would read the occasional one out and laugh or nod emphatically, and they'd say something like, "That's so true," or "Wow, yeah, I forgot about that."
For a while, the list lost its way. The reason for it had long since been forgotten in its unending appetite for wonderful things. It had meandered towards novelty, running joke or obsession, but now, as it was nearing 1 million entries, it suddenly became important again.
During the service, I realised how much the list had changed the way I see the world. I kept noticing things to add to it. 999,976. Byrne.
That night I completed the list. I typed up the last few hundred editions, printed it out, and left it in my father's chair. He never mentioned it directly, but when we spoke, a few weeks after the funeral, he thanked me and said, "I love you." I told him that sentimentality didn't suit him.
999,997 avocados. 999,998 being smiled at. 999,999 completing a task.
1 million. Listening to a new record for the first time, turning it over in your hands, placing it on the deck and putting the needle down. Hearing the faint hiss and crackle of the sharp metal point on the wax before the music begins. Then sitting and listening while reading through the sleeve notes.
So well done on being here. This is exactly the sort of thing that makes Latitude quite a cool, funky little festival. Well done on being part of it.